This video contains content that may be confronting.
A British teenager who killed 3 young girls at a Taylor Swift-themed dance event last year has been jailed for at least 52 years in an attack which the UK's Prime Minister Keir Starmer has called one of the most harrowing moments in Britain's history. Europe Bureau Chief Mozoe Ford has been covering the case today. Mozoe, good morning. Tell us what happened in court.
Good morning, Emma. Well, we heard some absolutely devastating accounts from the parents and at least one of the survivors, two of the survivors, I should say, from this terrible atrocity up in Southport last year. There were 26 children who'd attended this Taylor Swift-themed dance party and workshop where they were sitting down at tables making bracelets when Axel Rudakabana came in with a knife and began quietly moving his way around the room and stabbing these young girls. So we heard from some of the parents who said that he was a coward. They described their lives as being on a 5-dimensional horror film loop since the attack. The teacher who desperately tried to get the girls out of the room and was also injured herself has been living with enormous guilt about how she survived when 3 of the little girls died. And a teenager who very bravely addressed the court today, she was there that day too. She was 14 years old. She said, "You looked possessed. You did not look human," when referring to Axel Rudakabana. We also heard from the prosecutor today who said that Rudakabana showed no remorse and that he had an obsession with killing. He said at the police station he was glad the children had died. He didn't have a specific political or religious motive, just that obsession with murder. When police searched his home, they found weapons, they found an Al-Qaeda manual, they found ricin, the toxic poison. But they also found a link to Australia, and that was that the last thing he searched online on his tablet was the stabbing in Western Sydney last year of Mari Emanuel, the bishop there. So that's what police found when they looked at his online history and what he'd been looking at most recently. The judge listened to all of the horrible accounts from the families and the survivors throughout the day, as well as the prosecutor's facts. And here's little of what he had to say before sentencing Rudakabana to at least 52 years.
The harm that Rudakabana has caused to each family, each child, and to the community has been profound and permanent. For the families of Elsie, Bibi and Alice, they will never recover from what happened to their daughter. For those children and the adults that he attempted to murder, their lives will never be the same.
Mozoe, it's also emerged this teenager was known to the authorities before the attack?
Yes, Emma, and that he had a violent history, that he'd tried to take knives to school, and crucially that he'd been referred to an anti-extremism program 3 times but was not deemed to be a high enough risk. Now, because of this information, the Prime Minister here, Sir Keir Starmer, has ordered a public inquiry and has promised the families that the truth will come out, they will get to the answers and that people will be held accountable for that. But certainly after a really difficult day in court for all of these families, they'll just be focusing right now on supporting each other.